Alright, how you doing? Got just a little pickup video today. I was working the other day at my student's house, and his mom comes up and says, "Hey, you like old things, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Yeah, we're tearing down my grandmother's uncle's cousin's sister's house. There's some stuff in there. You want it?" And I'm like, "Well, what's in there?" And the first thing she has right there with her, she's like, "Well, we got stuff like this." So this is an old vase, probably from the 50s or 60s. I mean, not Ming Dynasty or anything. So I got one, two, and a third vase. I'm either just going to use these or take them back to America if they fit in my suitcase. Give them to my dad. Alright, so then I go over to the place and I'm looking through the stuff. And these are in no particular order, but let's see what we got. We got one, two, three sets of Japanese geta. These are made of paulownia wood, which is called kiri here in Japanese. Really lightweight, strong, and doesn't warp with water or moisture. And they have the little rubber on the bottom, so they're kind of practical geta. You could use them for everyday work. Not work, but everyday life. And these sell really well abroad. People who are into anime, they want to use them for cosplay. I've sold millions of them for photo shoots, and some people just put them on their shelf. Something interesting, conversation piece for the house. All right, next thing we got here is a little Japanese doll, about a foot tall. Still got the plastic around her face. What these were sold at Japanese hot springs resorts, and they usually have the hot spring resort's name right there. I got one like that, and actually one more in the box. Dolls are hit and miss on the internet. Sometimes I sell a lot of them, sometimes they sit for a long time. They sell a little better if I have them at the flea market in America. Alright, next thing I got are, see it right here. This is a Japanese lunchbox. This one's plastic. Actually has two different lids, so I guess it could be, it can become two boxes, or you just stack it up. This would be this is a three-tiered lunchbox. These are really popular for people use them as jewelry boxes. Put them in by the door, put their keys in it, put change in it. They're actually popular in Europe as a diet thing. I think it was France. You know, people would only eat what would fit in like one side of these as a diet. I got one, a three-tiered, and a two-tiered. Like I said, they're plastic, so you buy them. I saw them for like $10, so it's not a huge investment. If it breaks, oh well. Alright, here's another one. Now, this is not a cheap one. This is another Japanese lunchbox. This one is wood. Really nice color. Sorry, I'm using my computer camera, so it's not great, but you can see with the gold picture and the dark brown background, it looks really nice. Design on one side, nothing on the other three. This is also a three-tiered. Like I said, people love these just as, you know, a decoration piece, but a practical decoration piece because you can put stuff in there, have it on your shelf, you know, practical, and looks nice. And next thing, these were actually in the house even before I went over to the place. Some records. This is the Essential Jazz. I don't know how many discs it was supposed to be or how many records. It's 2 records. They look like they're smaller, 45s, but without the big hole. Pretty cool. Blue Note. We also got 2 more records. ABBA, Greatest Hits Volume 2. Picked it up, might as well. And John Mellencamp's I actually had this tape back in the day, and it's a good album. I'm probably never listened to the ABBA one, and I'll probably give this jazz one to my friend Ben. I have a lot of jazz records, but he's more of a collector than I am. Alright, here's the next thing we got. Actually got a whole pile of these old Japanese books. They got about 3 stories in each one. I really just like the artwork, stuff like that. You know, it looks good up on the shelf or something. Lots of different ones. This one's Three Musketeers with some other stories in there. This one has a story of Lenin, and says Tolstoy on there. And this one's really cool. Pinocchio. They're not as heavy as they look. I'll probably put them up on Etsy. You know, $5-10 a piece. So it just looks cool. I mean, up on the shelf. Someone's a Disney fan, Pinocchio fan. It's cool. Alright, here's another thing I got. This is really cool. This would have been really expensive new. This is actually a Boys' Day doll. It's got the stand connected to it. Something like this. I put it up on the internet. If it doesn't sell, give it to my dad next year. He likes this kind of stuff. Alright, here's one of the biggest and nicest things I got. Oh man, this thing's huge. It's a giant Japanese doll. These things are basically worthless in Japan because every house has one. You can't even give them away. So actually the lady who had the house was really happy that this is probably going to go to my dad, and instead of going in a landfill, you know, so this is going to have a life again. It's going to be outside Japan, but at least it's going to be, you know, liked somewhere else, and like I said, instead of going into a landfill. And another giant thing you can see here behind me. This is a big Japanese painting. Oops, got the doll there. You can see typical Japanese style: trees, mountains, house, river. Well, this thing is pretty big. What I'm gonna have to do to get this back to America is take it out of here, roll it up, take this frame apart if I can, just to get it all in a suitcase. This is something I can't really sell on eBay or Etsy or something. It's just too big. It'll go over the size requirement. This would be like $100 to send, and you know, it's only a $30-40 picture, so no one's gonna pay $100 shipping for a $40 picture. But I'll take it home and to America. If someone wants it, give it to them. If not, sell it in the flea market there. Just have to figure out how to get this frame apart. Alright, and other than the things I showed you, we also got some big stuff. I got some benches that I'm going to put up on the roof. My roof is flat, so we have barbecues up there, and we always never have enough seating. So they're actually nice because they're just flat. They can be a bench or they could be a table. Also picked up a giant cabinet for my wife's mom's coffee shop. Got a dresser for my wife's sister. I got a giant table that I'm trying to sell right now. What else did we get? Oh, maybe. Oh, I got a rug. It's free. take it. Like my dad said, if it's free, take it. I think that's all I got. But like I said, the people who had the house were happy because they were just going to demolish the house with everything in there. And the house was actually a sewing factory on the bottom. So, I mean, there was just shelves, tables, chairs. I wish I could have took it all, but I was there a couple hours. I mean, we got tons of stuff. So that's the video of the pickup. I wish I could have got video while we were there, but the grandma said she didn't want me to videotape there. I think they're having some family conflict about it, so you know, if they say don't videotape, then don't videotape. It's up to them, not up to us or me or you or anybody. And like I said, I'll say it again. That's why half the reason I do this is, you know, is for money. I buy and sell, of course, but it's just nice that this stuff that, you know, was gonna go away and nobody cared about, you know, whether it's a landfill or if it just sits there and rots, at least now it's gonna go somewhere and it's gonna be, you know, someone's gonna love it or like it, you know, and it's gonna be a conversation piece in someone's house, even if it's 6,000 miles away, you know, and that's just how culture continues too, you know. The culture gets stagnant here. Nobody in Japan cares about this stuff anymore. But if somebody in another country cares about it, that keeps the Japanese culture alive. And that's not just for Japanese culture. That goes for any other country. So that's just me doing my small part to keep some sort of culture going. And also, it's nice to know that somebody's enjoying something that I had a hand in salvaging. So, well, that's it. I hope you were excited about what it is. And if you have any questions or anything, let me know in the comments and I'll answer it for you. Talk to you later. Maybe next flea market video coming up.
See what? See what?